Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Ramon and I'm gonna show you some movies from my movie collection again. DVDs and Blu-rays of movies that were released in the 1980s. And I just want to say that future videos will also feature VHS tapes and a couple of DVD box sets, just so you know. And I will also try to improve the flow of my videos, perhaps by increasing the pace a little bit. Yeah, let's start with the first movie for today, and that is the comedy Fish Called Wanda, starring John Cleese and Jamie Lee Curtis. Never liked this slipcover. Yeah, this is Tom Holland's Fatal Beauty, starring Whoopi Goldberg and Sam Elliott. Family Business is a crime comedy directed by Sidney Lumet. And Kevin Costner stars in Field of Dreams, a sports drama and partially a spiritual drama that, I never really connected to it, to be honest. Then two films starring Chevy Chase: Funny Farm, directed by George Roy Hill, and John Landis, Spies Like Us. And this is Fist of the North Star, directed by Toyo Ashida, and it's a Japanese animated post-apocalyptic martial arts extravaganza. Really love this one. This is an underrated thriller by Polanski, Harrison Ford in Frantic. And another thriller, Adrian Lyne's Fatal Attraction with Michael Douglas and Glenn Close. I also own the hit film Flashdance with Jennifer Beals. This is Nick Nolte in John Milius' Farewell to the King. And Jeff and Beau Bridges are the fabulous Baker Boys. Yeah. Then a Fulci box set containing the following three films: the disappointing horror flick Manhattan Baby, atmospheric horror film The Black Cat, based on Edgar Allan Poe, and a notorious, rather brutal Giallo, the New York Ripper, my favorite movie in this set. Next up, Joe Dante's Gremlins, released in 1984. And the sequel was released in 1990, Gremlins 2, The New Batch. And these two movies also came in a box set. This is the summer vacation film The Great Outdoors, UK DVD, directed by Howard Deutsch. And it's my favorite John Candy film, one of my favorite John Candy films, so I also own a Blu-ray. And this is one of my favorite Chow Yun-fat films, The God of Gamblers, also starring Andy Lau and directed by Jing Wong. And I upgraded to a nice Blu-ray. Next up is Ivan Reitman's Ghostbusters on Blu-ray. And I also own a DVD pack that also contains the sequel. I like the sequel. Then a nice thriller directed by Michael Apted, William Hurt and Lee Marvin in Corky Park. Really good one. And Michael Apted also directed this biopic starring Sigourney Weaver, Gorillas in the Mist. This is Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, starring Christopher Lambert. And this is the Bruceploitation film Game of Death 2. Next up, a comedy starring John Candy, Going Berserk. And my two childhood heroes, Terence Hill and Bud Spencer, star in the action comedy Go For It, directed by Enzo Barboni. Stephen Dorff was just a kid when he was in this film, the horror adventure film The Gate. This is Barry Levinson's Good Morning Vietnam, starring Robin Williams. And this is the only G.I. Joe movie that I loved, the animated one. I can't really defend this one, but it's another one from my childhood, the Garbage Pail Kids movie. And this is without a doubt one of the greatest animated films ever made. Grave of the Fireflies by Isao Takahata, the UK DVD. And I also own a Dutch DVD. Roseanne Arquette and Jean Reno star in Luc Besson's The Big Blue. And this was an absolute favorite of mine when I was a kid. Jim Kata, directed by Robert Klause, starring Kurt Thomas and Richard Norton. Criminally overlooked by the critics, this one. This is Edward Zwick's Glory, with a phenomenal soundtrack by James Horner. And Michelle Pfeiffer stars in the sequel to Grease. And this is Richard Attenborough's Gandhi, starring Dan Kingsley. Anthony Edwards and Linda Fiorentino in the Cold War thriller Gotcha. This is Richard Donner's The Goonies. And Shannon Doherty, may she rest in peace, was just a kid when she was in Girls Just Wanna Have Fun. Also starring Helen Hunt and Sarah Jessica Parker. Ghoulies and Ghoulies Part 2. I really love the third one. That's my favorite one, when they go to college. And this is another film by Fellini, Ginger and Fred, starring Marcello Mastroianni and Fellini's wife, Giulietta Massina. Eddie Murphy and Charles Dance in The Golden Child. Burt Reynolds and Peter MacNicol in the crime film Heat, based on a novel, and the novel was retold later in Wildcard, film starring Jason Statham. This is my favorite Marvel film, Howard the Duck, with Jeffrey Jones and Leah Thompson. War Actioner by John Woo, Heroes Shed No Tears. And the top 5 Woody Allen film for sure. Great cast, Hannah and her sisters, Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery in Russell Mulcahy's Highlander, the UK DVD. I also own the Dutch DVD. And the Blu-ray. This is an Italian Terminator ripoff by one of my favorite genre directors, Sergio Martino, Hands of Steel, aka Atomic Cyborg. Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung star in Heart of the Dragon, directed by Hung. This is Mel Brooks' History of the World Part 1. And Rutger Hauer gives a menacing performance in The Hitcher. This is the US DVD. And I also own a Dutch DVD. And to top it off, Whoopi and Belushi in Homer and Eddie. I hope you enjoyed, guys. And tune in next time. Goodbye.